On a remote mountain village, a series of animal carcasses began appearing overnight, seemingly destroyed by an unknown source. Inugami, a detective specializing in such cases, was summoned from Tokyo to investigate these mysterious events. Meanwhile, a group of boys in the village grew excited upon hearing that a detective from Tokyo was arriving. Among them was a boy named Yataro Kusaka, who dreamed of visiting Tokyo one day and becoming a detective himself. His friends begged him to let them see the man from Tokyo, and Yataro agreed as long as they did not disturb the guest. During the conversation, Yataro began mocking a strange-looking boy named Kabane, Yataro's cousin, who lived with them. Yataro told Kabane to stay outside once the detective arrived, claiming he always smelled bad. At the same time, Detective Inugami was stranded on the roadside with a flat tire. Mrs. Kusaka, Yataro's mother and Inugami's client, passed by and offered him a ride to her home, where he would be staying. Along the way, they discussed the mysterious animal bodies. Mrs. Kusaka asked him to keep the investigation a secret from the children, fearing it might frighten them. Inugami agreed, assuring her he would do everything he could to keep the peace in the village. At the villa, Inugami noticed Kabane working quietly in the fields. When greeted, Kabane did not reply but simply bowed. Inugami assumed he was either shy or too dedicated to his work to engage. Later that night, while Inugami was relaxing in the hot springs, Yotaro came in and offered to wash his back. During their conversation, Inugami asked about the boy in the fields. Yotaro explained that his name was Kabane, also known by the nickname Dorotabo after a yokai. He added that Kabane was born with a terrible smell, which caused people to avoid him. Abandoned by his parents, Kabane had been taken in by Yataro's mother. After his bath, Inugami asked Mrs. Kusaka if Kabane could attend to him instead of Yataro. The following morning, Kabane prepared coffee for the detective. As they spoke, Inugami asked if he had noticed anything unusual recently, since Kabane often worked outside at night. Kabane revealed that he was the one responsible for disposing of the animal corpses. He explained that the incidents usually occurred on nights of the new moon, with the next one approaching in 5 days. While waiting for the next new moon, Inugami helped Kabane with his chores. One day, he noticed a necklace around Kabane's neck and asked about it. Kabane said he had worn it since birth, believing it belonged to his parents, though they had abandoned him. Inugami recognized the symbol and corrected him, explaining that the necklace contained a rare object called a life stone, something so valuable that his parents would never have left it behind if they had truly abandoned him. This meant Kabane had not been deserted. Inugami then asked if Kabane wished to meet his parents one day, suggesting he might be able to find them. On the night of the new moon, Kabane waited for Inugami outside. Yataro confronted him, jealous of the attention Kabane had received from the detective. Shouting angrily, he accused Kabane of ruining his own chances of going to Tokyo. In his rage, Yataro ripped the necklace from Kabane's neck, triggering Kabane's transformation into a demon. Horrified, Yataro fled, but Kabane managed to retrieve the necklace and return to his human form. Distressed, he wept in the barn, blaming himself for the animal deaths. Inugami found him and revealed his own tale, explaining that Kemonos, rare beings, had always lived among humans undetected. He told Kabane that he was a hybrid between human and yokai, and that his life stone was crucial, as it allowed him to maintain human form and suppress his hunger for humans. He also assured Kabane that the killings were the work of another culprit. Realizing Yataro had run into the forest in fear, Inugami and Kabane set off to find him. They discovered him surrounded by transformed dogs, which they quickly defeated. Soon after, they encountered a demonic moose, which attacked without hesitation. Displaying immense strength, Kabane fought it off with his bare hands, impressing Inugami. However, moments later, Inugami revealed the truth. He had been hired to eliminate Kabane. Mrs. Kusaka had known Kabane's true nature since her sister handed him over. Inugami shot Kabane in the head, then returned to Mrs. Kusaka to report that the job was done, carrying Kabane's body away. To his surprise, Kabane regenerated. Inugami explained this was possible because of his half-human, half-yokai nature. He took Kabane to his office in Tokyo, where the boy met 2 other orphans, Shiki and Akira, who were also Kemonos. Inugami offered Kabane a place on his detective team, though he did not have to decide immediately. Akira asked if Kabane was a kemono like them, noting his unusual smell. Inugami explained that Kabane was a hanyu, a half-human, half-kemono hybrid. His yokai side was so strong that he was considered an immortal demon, though he shared traits with Shiki, who was also a hanyu. Shiki disliked the newcomer and was angered when Kabane wore his clothes, claiming seniority as the older boy. Later, Kabane accidentally triggered one of Shiki's traps and discovered his silk thread powers. Though Shiki mocked him, Kabane healed from the injury almost instantly, astonishing him. The next day, the group embarked on their first mission together. At a home plagued by a bug infestation, the police explained that something inside the house was attracting the swarm. Shiki attempted to use his silk powers to contain them, but the bugs destroyed his webs. Inugami intervened, and Kabane volunteered to go inside. The others were frightened, but Inugami approved, knowing Kabane could not bleed or feel pain. As soon as he entered, the bugs covered him, but he endured it unharmed. He located the source, a pair of stolen shoes carrying the guilt of a young boy who had taken them for his impoverished mother. Once resolved, the infestation ceased. Grateful, Inugami welcomed Kabane as part of the team and promised to help him find his parents. Later, Inugami was heard speaking on the phone with a mysterious woman named Inari, who held great influence within the Tokyo police. He informed her about Kabane, suggesting that the boy might be a potential threat. The next day, Inugami sent the boys to the police station to meet Inari. However, the officer at the entrance doubted they knew her and stopped them. Suddenly, a girl named Kon appeared, asking which one of them was Kabane, as Inari was waiting for him. When Kabane met Inari, she displayed strange behavior, showing interest only in his life stone. She explained that with this stone, kemonos would no longer need to feed on human energies to survive. She revealed her intention to replicate it and, without warning, removed Kabane's head and placed it in a suitcase. She then ordered Kon to eliminate the other boys waiting outside. Outside, Kon had shapeshifted into Kabane, but when Shiki insulted her master, she lost control and revealed her true form, a kitsune. She unleashed flames, setting the surroundings ablaze. Shiki quickly used his silk to form a protective shield and managed to snatch the suitcase containing Kabane's head. As they fled, Kon grew furious, determined to prove her loyalty to Inari, and attacked with even greater force. From inside the suitcase, Kabane instructed Shiki to throw him toward Kon. Obeying, Shiki hurled the head, and Kabane managed to bite her midair, defeating her instantly. With her defeated, the flames vanished, revealing that her powers had been mere illusions. Kabane regenerated his body, astonishing Shiki, who could not understand how Kabane's abilities surpassed his own, despite both being hanyus. Though jealous, Shiki decided it was best to remain allies. When they returned outside, they found Inugami waiting. It was then revealed that the life stone Inari had stolen was fake, a shape-shifting stone planted by Inugami. Furious at being deceived, Inari swore revenge. Later, at their office, Kon reappeared, weak and injured. She admitted that without Kabane's head, she would fail her mission for Inari. Collapsing, she was taken in by Inugami, who tended to her wounds. When she recovered, she still begged for Kabane's head, fearing punishment if she returned empty-handed. Inugami tricked her by transforming an orange into a replica of Kabane's head before sending her away. Shiki warned that once she discovered the truth, she would return for revenge, but Inugami dismissed the concern. Meanwhile, Kabane received a new assignment from Inugami, to investigate mysterious deaths near the sewers. He went with Akira. Curious, Kabane asked about Akira's powers. Akira explained that he could turn water into ice, but admitted he struggled under pressure. Suddenly, a giant frog-like creature attacked, capturing Akira, though Kabane managed to free him. At that moment, a tanuki, Inugami's messenger, appeared, delivering a letter, a pouch, and a container of blood. The letter explained that rogue frog kemonos were responsible for the recent deaths, and Inugami ordered Kabane to draw them out using the demon blood, then eliminate them. Akira grew fearful, but then remembered his reason for coming to Tokyo, to overcome his fears and grow stronger. He agreed to help. Releasing the blood into the water, they soon attracted a swarm of frog creatures. Kabane fought fiercely, but their numbers overwhelmed him. At his lowest point, Akira remembered how everyone mocked him for being weak. Determined to prove himself, he unleashed a massive ice attack, freezing the entire swarm and defeating them. Days later, Kabane was cleaning the hallway when he was pulled into a mysterious room. There, he met Mentai, a vampire who had been living in Inugami's office all along, working behind the scenes. Mentai specialized in intelligence and technology, though he was also a ruthless being with supernatural power. Mentai revealed he had been hiding out, but after losing an arm wrestling match to Kabane, an injury that kept him from playing his video games, he decided to assist with investigations. Soon after, Mentai tricked Inugami and trapped him in his room, sending the boys on a dangerous mission instead. Their task was to investigate a factory where employees had been mysteriously dying, though recently the deaths had stopped. Shiki disguised himself with his silk, reflecting light to appear invisible, and infiltrated the building. Inside, Mentai controlled a remote-controlled toy car, also invisible, to guide him. They discovered the workers behaving like zombies, endlessly performing repetitive tasks. When one worker tried to flee, the manager brought him into a separate room where a woman transformed into a mosquito kimono and feasted on his brain. Once drained, he returned to work mindlessly, incapable of conscious thought. Shiki grew fearful of the mosquitoes and wanted to retreat, but Mentai forced him to stay, using the toy car to distract the women. The mosquitoes soon sensed Shiki despite his invisibility, but Mentai electrocuted one with the toy car, saving him. Shiki, however, froze in fear. Paralyzed by childhood trauma, Mentai realized that Shiki only pretended to be tough, when in truth he was terrified inside. Eventually, Shiki regained his courage. He used his silk to release toxins into the air, confusing one mosquito and trapping her. Meanwhile, Kabane appeared, carrying her sister, whom he had already defeated with ease. Soon after, their leader, the eldest mosquito, arrived. She consumed her sister's brains, becoming stronger, and swiftly defeated Akira and Shiki. Kabane stood as the last one able to fight. Following Menhai's advice, he tapped into his kimono powers more effectively, gaining immense strength. He tore off the mosquito's arms, but before he could finish her, Nabemaru, Inari's new assistant, appeared and destroyed the remains, ensuring humans would never discover the existence of kimonos. The next day, the group set off on a road trip to investigate Shiki's past. As they traveled, Shiki grew anxious, for the road trip was meant to uncover the truth about his parents. Eventually, they arrived at a remote village, where they were greeted by Shiki's uncle. The uncle explained that Shiki's mother had died long ago, and his father had abandoned him. He claimed to have raised Shiki out of kindness. While exploring the area, Kabane and Akira sensed something strange in the forest. Shiki, however, was restless. He confronted his uncle, demanding answers about his parents. The man grew nervous, but before he could speak further, a girl suddenly appeared. She looked strikingly similar to Shiki, with the same eyes and hair. She introduced herself as Aya, Shiki's younger sister. Aya revealed the truth. Their mother had not died. In reality, she was still alive, but had been confined due to her kimono nature. Their uncle had lied all these years, keeping them apart. Furious, Shiki accused his uncle of betrayal. Aya explained that their mother was a spider kimono, capable of producing powerful silk. Long ago, the uncle had exploited her, forcing her to produce silk to sell. When Shiki was born, she had used her silk to protect him, but the uncle feared her power and locked her away. Aya, too, had been hidden from Shiki all this time. Determined to see his mother, Shiki led the group deeper into the forest. There, they discovered a hidden chamber. Inside, they found his mother, frail and weakened after years of confinement. Tears filled Shiki's eyes as he reunited with her. She expressed regret for not being able to protect him, but Shiki embraced her, finally understanding the truth of his past. However, their uncle soon appeared. Enraged that his secret had been revealed, he unleashed hostile kimonos to attack them. Shiki, filled with anger, unleashed the full extent of his silk powers for the first time. His strength overwhelmed the attackers, proving he had inherited his mother's gift. In the end, his uncle was defeated and handed over to Inugami's organization. Shiki swore to protect his mother and Aya, vowing never again to let his family suffer. With his past finally revealed, he returned to Tokyo with a renewed sense of purpose. Back at the office, Inugami explained that every member of their group carried a painful past, but together, they could grow stronger. Shiki accepted this, now more determined than ever. Meanwhile, Inari plotted her next move. She had grown interested in Kabane's abilities and sent Nabemaru to keep watch on him. Soon after, another mission was assigned. A wealthy family reported strange occurrences in their mansion. When Kabane and the others arrived, they discovered the household haunted by spirits. Inugami revealed that the family had a history of making contracts with Kemonos, and those contracts had come back to haunt them. During their investigation, Kabane once again displayed his remarkable resilience, while Akira struggled with fear. Yet, step by step, Akira began overcoming his weakness, slowly realizing that he too had untapped potential. The group grew closer as they continued tackling missions together, each encounter shaping their growth. But Inari's shadow loomed ever larger, her schemes gradually converging toward Kabane and the mysterious life stone embedded within him. Not long after Shiki's past was resolved, the group received another mission. Reports had surfaced about strange ice-related incidents in a northern region. Inugami decided it was the perfect opportunity for Akira to confront the truth about his own heritage. Though hesitant at first, Akira agreed. The road trip took them deep into the mountains, where the land was blanketed in snow and silence. For Akira, this place was painfully familiar. It was his home, the village he had left behind. As they entered, the villagers' stares were cold and unfriendly. Whispers followed them, and Kabane and Shiki quickly realized that Akira was not welcome here. Eventually, they were brought before the village elders, who revealed the truth. Akira had once been part of this community, but he had fled as a child. His twin brother Yui had remained behind. When the group met Yui, Akira was shocked. His brother had grown into a tall, confident young man, radiating strength. Unlike Akira, Yui had mastered his ice powers and was regarded as the pride of the village. At first, Yui greeted Akira warmly, but his kindness quickly faded. He scolded Akira for abandoning the village, calling him weak and useless. Akira's insecurities resurfaced, and he felt crushed under his brother's harsh words. However, things were not as they seemed. Kabane sensed something strange about the village, and Shiki noticed the unnatural chill in the air. Soon, the truth came to light. Yui was not the same brother Akira once knew. The villagers had manipulated him, exploiting his powers. To maintain control, they had twisted his mind with lies, convincing him that Akira was a disgrace who should never have returned. The tension finally erupted into a battle. Yui, under the village's influence, attacked Akira and his friends with overwhelming ice magic. Akira froze in fear, unable to raise his hand against his own brother. But as Kabane and Shiki fought to protect him, Akira realized he could no longer run from the truth. Memories of their childhood resurfaced, how Yui had always shielded him, how they had once shared dreams of a future together. With tears in his eyes, Akira shouted that he would save his brother no matter what. For the first time, he unleashed his true power. His ice surged forth pure and uncorrupted, breaking through the darkness that clouded Yui's heart. The battle ended with Yui collapsing into Akira's arms. Freed from the villagers' manipulation, he wept and apologized for his harsh words. Akira forgave him instantly, relieved to have his brother back. With the truth revealed, the corrupt elders were overthrown, and the village began to rebuild. Yui decided to remain behind, determined to atone for his actions and restore peace to their home. Before they parted ways, he encouraged Akira to keep growing stronger, reminding him that he was never weak. He only needed to believe in himself. For Akira, the journey was life-changing. He returned to Tokyo with Kabane and Shiki, no longer the timid boy he once was. Though he still had fears, he now carried the determination to face them, knowing that his friends and his brother believed in him. Back in the city, the trio reunited with Inugami. Their bonds had grown stronger than ever, but Inugami warned them that their greatest challenge still lay ahead. Inari had set her sights on Kabane's life stone, and her schemes were about to plunge them into the most dangerous battle of their lives. After Akira's emotional reunion with his brother, the team barely had time to rest before darker troubles surfaced in Tokyo. Inugami had long suspected that Inari, the cunning and ruthless fox commander of the police, was plotting something far greater than anyone realized. Now, those schemes began to move into action. From the shadows, Inari's gaze fell directly on Kabane. What she wanted was not Kabane himself, but the stone embedded in his body. The Life Stone, a mysterious gem said to hold immense power. If obtained, it could grant its wielder dominance over life and death itself. To Inari, it was the ultimate prize. She deployed her loyal subordinates to get closer to Kabane's group, most notably Nobimaru, the sly fox boy who constantly shifted between ally and enemy. Though Nobimaru played the role of a trickster, Kabane's straightforward nature began to confuse him. Unlike others who treated Nobimaru as a pawn, Kabane saw him as a potential friend. That small spark of kindness shook Nobimaru's loyalty to Inari. Inugami knew the threat Inari posed and warned the children to stay cautious. But Kabane, in his innocent and blunt way, continued to place his trust in Nobimaru, even when it seemed foolish. Shiki and Akira remained wary, convinced that Nobimaru would betray them the moment Inari gave the order. The tension escalated when Inari herself finally made a move. Appearing before the group, her presence was overwhelming, calm, beautiful, but laced with cruelty. She made her intentions clear. She wanted the Life Stone, and she would tear Kabane apart to get it. A fierce clash erupted. Kabane, Shiki, and Akira fought desperately, while Inugami tried to hold Inari back. But she was no ordinary enemy. Her illusions and foxfire overwhelmed them at every turn. Nobimaru stood at her side, watching the chaos unfold, but his hesitation grew stronger with each passing moment. Kabane fought with unshakable determination, not for himself, but for the friends who had given him a family. Just as Inari prepared to strike a killing blow, Nobimaru finally intervened. His betrayal of Inari shocked everyone, but deep down, Kabane had already expected it, because he had chosen to believe in Nobimaru's heart. With Nobimaru's help, the group barely managed to escape Inari's deadly grasp, but victory was far from theirs. Inari retreated, furious yet unfazed, vowing to claim the Life Stone no matter how long it took. In the aftermath, the children realized how close they had come to losing everything. Inugami reminded them that this was only the beginning. Inari's schemes stretched far wider than they could imagine, and greater enemies still lurked in the dark corners of the Kemono world. For Kabane, though, there was no fear, only resolve. With Shiki and Akira at his side, and Inugami guiding them, he would continue his search for the truth about his parents while protecting the bonds he had found. The detective agency was no longer just a workplace, it was his home, his family. And so the season closed on a calm but uncertain note. Inari's laughter echoed faintly in the distance, a reminder that her ambitions had only just begun. The curtain fell, but the story of Kabane and his friends was far from over. That's the complete Season 1 recap, and with that said, thanks for watching, and till next time, fellows.